In the solemn splendor of a May morning in 2025, Buckingham Palace stood as a golden monument to British endurance, its honeyed stonework gleaming under a radiant sun. The azure sky a perfect canvas, streaked with delicate clouds. The air alive with the stirring cadence of military bands and the faint perfume of blooming roses from the palace gardens. The forecourt was a majestic stage for the 80th anniversary of VE Day, May 11, a commemoration of liberation that drew world leaders, veterans, and families in a vibrant tapestry of remembrance and pride. The distant chime of Westminster's bells blended with the sharp polish of ceremonial uniforms, creating a sensory symphony that honored history's triumph. Amid this historic spectacle, Sergeant David Ellis, a royal guard, stood at his post overseeing the parade ground. His scarlet tunic a vivid symbol of tradition, its gold buttons catching the light. His towering bearskin cap casting a shadow over a face etched with disciplined resolve and quiet empathy. His rifle rested steady in his gloved hands, but his hazel eyes scanned the crowd with a vigilance tempered by a heart shaped by stories of resilience and unity. Then, a courageous act. A 9-year-old girl's bold dash onto the parade ground, her flag waving with unbridled pride, shattered protocol, sparking mockery from some in the crowd. Yet, one man's silent stand, a gesture of profound respect, transformed derision into reverence, turning a moment of disruption into a global celebration of courage and honor. For those of you who have been stirred by a child's fearless heart, valued the power of quiet respect to silence judgment, or cherished the resilience as freedom's truest legacy, the Royal Guards are more than sentinels in scarlet. They're guardians of humanity's shared spirit, as enduring as the memories of a victory forged in sacrifice, the warmth of a community united against scorn, or the resolve to honor courage with unwavering respect. Why did Aisha's boldness and Colonel Warren's silent stand resonate worldwide, redefining a historic day? Subscribe now to uncover the truth behind this quiet triumph. And join us in celebrating stories of resilience that ripple far beyond the palace gates, inspiring hearts from London's historic streets to the farthest reaches of the globe. Sergeant David Ellis was a man of disciplined empathy, his lean frame and steady hands honed by 12 years in the British Army. From the tense sunlit patrols of Cyprus to the vibrant community centres of London's Lewisham and Peckham, where he led youth programs with a calm presence and a warm laugh. At 24, his youthful features, dark hair tucked beneath his bearskin cap, hazel eyes softened by faint lines of care, carried a quiet strength, a testament to a life shaped by stories of perseverance. Born in a bustling terraced house in Lewisham, South London, to a family of 4 siblings, Ellis grew up in a home where resilience was a daily lesson. His mother, Marva, a school teacher of Jamaican descent, wove tales of her childhood in Kingston, where neighbors faced hardship with shared meals and defiant laughter, her voice warm. David, strength is honoring every story, carry it with you. His father, Winston, a bus driver, taught discipline, ensuring chores were done, but joined the family's backyard games. His deep chuckle a balm for any day struggles. Marva's words, freedom lives in every heart's courage, guided Ellis to enlist at 22, where he earned praise for building trust in Cyprus, organizing games for the children in divided villages, his empathy bridging gaps. Joining the Royal Guards in 2023, his scarlet tunic and bearskin marked him as a symbol of tradition. But beneath the ceremonial splendor was a man whose heart beat for inclusion, whose mantra, protect the spirit of this legacy, reflected his family's resilience and his resolve to honor history through acts of compassion and respect. To you, who've cherished moments of quiet strength, perhaps helping a neighbor through a tough day, uniting a community with kindness, or celebrating a child's courage against doubt, Ellis's empathy might resonate, recalling a time when you honored resilience, when a gesture of care silenced judgment, when you upheld freedom by lifting others up. On May 8, Buckingham Palace was a global stage, its forecourt a grand arena for the 80th anniversary of VE Day, a celebration of the Allied victory that ended World War II's European theater. The air pulsed with the solemn rhythm of military bands, their brass and drums playing Jerusalem and We'll Meet Again, echoing the hope of 1945, while flags, Union Jacks, Stars and Stripes, Tricolores, and more fluttered in the warm breeze. A vibrant salute to shared sacrifice. World leaders, from the US President to the German Chancellor, stood on the palace balcony, their suits and medals gleaming, their faces a blend of solemnity and pride as they honored the past. Veterans, their chests heavy with ribbons from campaigns across Normandy, Italy, and beyond, sat in places of honor, their eyes glistening with memories of fallen comrades and hard-won victories. Families filled the stands, their children waving small flags, their voices a chorus of awe as soldiers marched in flawless synchrony, their scarlet tunics and polished helmets a vision of discipline, their bayonets catching the sunlight. The scent of polished brass mingled with the delicate sweetness of the palace's rose and lavender beds. The morning sun casting long shadows of the guards' bearskin caps, creating a scene of pageantry and profound remembrance. Ellie stood at his post, tasked with ensuring the parade's precision, his scarlet tunic a beacon of order, his hazel eyes scanning the troops and crowd with a vigilance honed in community halls, where he'd learned to read hope and tension in a glance. His mind drifted to his grandfather, a D-Day veteran whose stories of liberation of children running to greet Allied troops in French villages shaped his duty, a legacy he carried in his steady stance, his heart full of reverence for the day's wait. Among the crowd, a girl stood with her family, her blue dress a vivid splash of color, her small Union Jack flag clutched tightly, her presence a spark of uncontainable pride in the formal splendor. She was 9, her dark skin glowing under the morning sun, her braided hair adorned with white beads that clinked softly, her brown eyes gleaming with determination, reflecting the glint of the soldiers' boots and the flutter of countless flags. Aisha, her name tag pinned to her dress, was with her parents, Layla and Malik, and her brother, Jamal, her excitement palpable as she stood on tiptoe, her flag waving with each note of the band's music, her whispers about the soldier hats drawing smiles from nearby families. Layla, in a cream scarf, beamed, her hand gentle on Aisha's shoulder, while Malik, filming the march, nodded proudly. This is our history. Aisha feel its heart. Aisha's spirit was a flame, her pride a bright thread in the day's tapestry, her flag a small but fierce echo of the banners raised in victory 80 years ago. As the parade reached its peak, the troops marching in perfect order, their scarlet tunics a sea of tradition. Aisha's pride overflowed, her heart too full to stay still. She slipped from Layla's hand, her small form darting through a gap in the crowd barrier, her blue dress a vibrant blur as she ran onto the parade ground, her flag raised high in both hands. Freedom for everyone, she shouted, her voice clear and resonant, cutting through the band's final chords, her flag waving with unbridled courage, her smile wide and radiant. The crowd gasped, their murmurs a mix of shock, delight, and unease, their phones rising to capture the moment, their voices a chorus of reactions. She's incredible. Is this allowed? What's she doing? Ellis tensed, his face stern, his heart racing. Protocol demanding immediate action. Stop the breach. Signal security. But his hazel eyes widened with concern, a warmth stirring at Aisha's words, her courage a vivid echo of his grandfather's tales of liberation's unscripted joy. For you, who've been moved by a child's fearless spirit, perhaps a young one's bold act at a solemn event, a student's unfiltered voice in a formal setting, or a moment when innocence defied expectation. Aisha's dash might recall a time when you marveled at a child's heart, when their courage challenged the norm, when their pride became a call to celebrate freedom's boundless spirit. The world leaders on the balcony, presidents, from the United States, South Africa, and Brazil. Prime ministers from the UK, Canada, and Australia. Chancellors and dignitaries from Germany, France, and Poland froze, their jaws dropping, their eyes wide with astonishment, their formal decorum shattered by Aisha's audacious run onto the parade ground. Deus, President, his glasses glinting, leaned forward, his mouth agape, while the German Chancellor, her scarf bright, clutched her program, her eyes fixed on the small figure in blue. The parade faltered. Soldiers, pausing mid-step, their disciplined formation disrupted, some frowning with uncertainty, others breaking into faint, hesitant smiles as Aisha danced among them, her flag tracing joyful arcs, her laughter a bell-like melody that rang across the gravel, a sound that seemed to carry the spirit of 1945's victory celebrations. A British general, his medals gleaming, whispered to an aide, his voice low, "She's got the fire of liberation." A French diplomat, his suit impeccable, nodded, his eyes soft. "C'est la liberté, pure et simple." But not all reactions were warm. A man in the crowd, his suit crisp and his arms crossed, jeered loudly, his voice cutting through the murmurs. "Get her off. This isn't a playground. It's disrespectful." His scowl deepened, his words echoed by a few others nearby, their laughter awkward and sharp. "Who let a kid ruin the ceremony? This is a disgrace." The tension swelled, the parade's solemnity at risk. Aisha's courage, a spark that could either unite or fracture the moment. Ellis, his heart pounding, prepared to signal security. His duty clear, but his instincts stirred by Aisha's shout. "Freedom for everyone." A phrase that pulsed with the day's purpose. A child's voice breathing life into history's promise. For you, who've witnessed a moment of courage met with scorn. Perhaps a child's act mocked at a formal gathering, a bold gesture that drew harsh judgment, or a time when innocence clashed with cynicism. Aisha's dance might recall when you felt a crowd's heart divide, when a single act of bravery stood vulnerable to derision, when freedom's spirit hung in the balance, awaiting a gesture to restore its light. From the sidelines, a figure rose, his movement deliberate, his presence a quiet command that drew every eye. Colonel Elias Warren, attaché, a decorated officer in a pressed dress uniform, his chest adorned with ribbons from tours in Afghanistan, Mali, and UN peacekeeping missions, stood slowly, his weathered face calm but resolute, his gray eyes steady with a depth forged in conflict and compassion. A veteran of war and reconciliation, Warren had seen courage in its rawest forms. Children defying fear in war-torn villages, soldiers standing for peace against chaos, communities rebuilt through quiet acts of respect. He spoke no words, his silence a choice, his steps measured as he crossed the gravel toward Aisha, his boots soft against the ground, his uniform a stark contrast to her vibrant blue dress. The crowd hushed, their phones still raised, their eyes shifting from Aisha to this new figure, the jeering man's voice faltering, his arms uncrossing in unease, his companion's laughter dying away. Warren reached Aisha, who paused her dance, her flag lowering slightly, her brown eyes wide with curiosity, her smile softening but unshaken, her beads clinking faintly. He knelt before her, his knee touching the gravel, his hands gentle as he adjusted her flag, raising it higher with care. His touch a wordless affirmation of her courage, his faint smile a beacon of respect. Then he stood, his posture rigid, and faced the parade ground, his right hand rising in a crisp, silent salute, his gray eyes fixed forward, his face a portrait of honor not for protocol, but for the child whose heart had embodied freedom's truest essence. The gesture was quiet, but its weight was seismic. A ripple that silenced the crowd's murmurs, stilled the leader's astonishment, and froze the jeering man's scorn, his face flushing as he turned away, his muttered complaints lost in the gravel. The soldiers, their formation steadying, returned subtle nods, their eyes reflecting Warren's respect, their march resuming with a renewed lightness, their boots a softer rhythm. Aisha, her flag high again, grinned at Warren, her voice a whisper. "Thank you, soldiermen." The crowd erupted, their applause a thunderous wave that swept the forecourt. Veterans standing with hands over hearts, families cheering, their voices a chorus of unity. Beautiful. That's freedom. Well done, both. The world leaders clapped. The president's hands loud, the German chancellor's eyes wet. Their approval, a bridge across nations and histories. Ellis, his tension easing, signaled the band to play on, his hazel eyes warm with gratitude for Warren's act. His heart lifted by Aisha's courage and the colonel's respect, a moment that redefined the parade's soul. For you, who've seen a single gesture silence judgment, perhaps a quiet act of kindness that hushed critics, a respectful nod that united a divided room, or a time when silence spoke louder than scorn, Warren's salute might mirror when you witness respect triumph, when a child's courage was honored, when unity emerged from a single, powerful act of heart. The moment unfolded like a page of history rewritten. Aisha's bold dash and Warren's silent salute, weaving a new thread into VE Day's tapestry of triumph. The parade continued, its rhythm restored, but its spirit transformed. The soldiers' steps lighter, the band's land of hope and glory now infused with a warmth that echoed Aisha's laughter and Warren's respect. Laila, Aisha's mother, reached the parade ground, her cream scarf fluttering as she scooped her daughter into her arms, both giggling, her voice a mix of pride and relief. "You brave little star, you've made history." Malik, still filming, laughter, his phone capturing Aisha's wave to Warren, her flag a beacon in the sunlight, her beads glinting as she spun in her mother's embrace. The crowd's phones recorded every detail, Aisha's joyful run, her flag's vibrant arcs, Warren's kneel and salute, the leader's stunned and joyful reactions, Ellis's steady presence, the veteran's tearful nods, the jeering man's silent retreat. Videos spread across X like a wildfire of hope. Clips titled "Girl Storms, VE Day Parade," and Colonel's salute shuts down critics, shared millions of times. Hashtags courage triumphs, Aisha shines, silent salute igniting feeds from London's bustling cafes to Mumbai's vibrant markets, from Chicago's quiet suburbs to Johannesburg's community hubs. A veteran, Mrs. Evelyn Carter, stood among the spectators, her beret adorned with a poppy, her voice thick as she spoke to a reporter. "That girl's courage, that colonel's respect, it's what we fought for in 45. Her words, caught on video, trended globally, her nod a beacon of approval that drowned out lingering dissent. A few officials, including the jeering man, muttered about protocol breaches, one whispering to a colleague, "Security should have acted faster." This was chaos. But their voices were buried under the crowd's cheers, the leader's applause, and X's outpouring. Aisha's the true hero. Warren's salute is everything. Courage in her heart, respect in his. The footage, vivid, in the morning's golden light, showed the crowd's radiant unity. Mrs. Carter's tearful smile, Layla's joyful embrace, Warren's stoic grace, Aisha's boundless courage, and the jeering man's retreat into the background. For you, who've seen courage triumph over scorn, perhaps a child's act honored despite critics, a quiet gesture that shifted a tense moment, or a time when respect overcame cynicism. Aisha and Warren's moment might recall when you felt a crowd's heart align, when a single act of honor amplified a spark of bravery, when freedom's spirit shone brighter than any judgment. Aisha's moment, sealed by Warren's salute, didn't fade with the parade's end. Days later, Layla brought Aisha to the palace visitor office, a folded drawing in hand, delivered to Warren through official channels, with a copy sent to Ellis for his steady presence that day. The drawing, on crisp white paper, showed a girl in blue and a soldier in uniform, both raising flags under a sky of colorful stars. Courage heroes, scrawled in glittery crayon. Aisha's note, in careful handwriting, read, "Dear Mr. Soldier, you saw my heart. Thank you for saluting me. Love, Aisha." Warren, a reserved man whose career was defined by quiet leadership. Read it in his office at the Ministry of Defense, his gray eyes misty, his weathered face softening into a rare, heartfelt smile. He wrote back, his words measured but warm. "Dear Aisha, your heart freed us all. Your flag is my honor. Keep shining." Ellis, receiving his copy in the barracks, pinned it beside other children's drawings, his scarlet tunic folded nearby. Aisha's stars, a reminder of the day's magic, her courage, a spark that lit his shifts. The videos continued to spread. X, a light with posts that amplified the moment to millions. Aisha and Warren are VE Day's soul. That salute silenced the haters. Comments flooded in, a global chorus of awe. Her spirit defines freedom. Warren's respect is a lesson for us all. This is why we celebrate. A campaign, Honor Every Voice, launched in partnership with veterans groups like the Royal British Legion and schools across the UK. Its mission to teach respect for courage. Inspired by Aisha's boldness and Warren's salute, posters appeared in schools, libraries, and community centers, featuring a child with a flag and a soldier saluting. Celebrate courage. Honor respect in bold letters, translated into Spanish, Arabic, and Hindi. For global reach, schools embraced the campaign, their students reenacting VE Day parades with paper flags, their teachers citing Aisha's bravery, and Warren's gesture as models of freedom's heart. A permanent plaque, Aisha's Courage Gate, was unveiled at Buckingham Palace in 2026, its bronze surface gleaming in the forecourt, depicting a girl waving a flag and a soldier saluting, inscribed, "For Aisha and Colonel Elias Warren, Champions of Courage, V-Day 2023." The unveiling drew thousands. Veterans, families, world leaders, Aisha's school, and Marva, who hugged Layla, their laughter, a bond forged by their children's moment. X erupted with photos of the plaque. Aisha Courage and Silent Salute trending globally. Users posting, "This gate's for every brave heart. Aisha and Warren forever. For you, who've seen a moment spark a movement. Perhaps a child's courage that inspired a change. A gesture of respect that united a community. Or a time when history was reshaped by heart. Aisha and Warren's story might mirror when you witnessed a spark ignite, when bravery and respect wove a legacy, when freedom's spirit became a shared vow. Ellis shared Aisha's story with his fellow guards, his training sessions now infused with her courage and Warren's respect. Strength lives in every act of heart honor it. Always, his mother, Marva, visited the palace, her hug fierce, her floral dress a burst of color. "You and Aisha brought 45 back, David, and that colonel, he made it eternal." She brought a pot of curry goat, her laughter warm. "She's our girl now. Part of us." Warren, typically stoic, spoke at a campaign event, his voice steady but warm. Aisha's courage reminded us what freedom means. Her flag, her heart. That's what we defend. The crowd cheered, their signs reading honor every voice. Their applause, a wave that carried the campaign's message across the UK. From London's vibrant squares to Yorkshire's quiet villages. Aisha's school invited Ellis and Warren to visit. Their assembly hall, a riot of color, with drawings of flags and salutes. Aisha hugging both men, her voice bright. You're my courage heroes. Warren knelt, his smile soft. You're the hero. Aisha keep waving that flag. Alice ruffled her braids. His grin wide. You made the parade unforgettable. Kiddo. The students performed a VE Day skit, their paper flags waving, their joy. A chorus that echoed Aisha's shout. Layla and Malik send updates. Aisha's drawings now filled with parades and stars. Her dream to make everyone brave and happy, growing with each new adventure school plays. Art classes. A speech at a local veterans event where she shared her parade story, her beads clinking as she spoke of Soldierman and her flag. The honor. Every Voice campaign expanded globally. Schools in Berlin teaching respect with Aisha's story. Communities in Lagos hosting courage parades. Murals spreading in New York. A garden girl with bravery in bold. In Tokyo, a salute under stars. Courage in kanji. In Warsaw, Odwaga with flags. Easy posts multiplied. Users sharing stories. Shared Aisha's story with my students. A Chicago teacher wrote, started a courage club at school, inspired by her and Warren. A Cape Town teacher posted, stood up for a kid's boldness. Because of them. A Sydney parent shared, attaching a photo of a child with a flag. The campaign's impact was profound. Schools reported fewer conflicts, with students braver to speak their hearts. Veterans groups saw increased youth engagement, inspired by Aisha's story. Communities hosted Courage Days, with parades and salutes. Their posters echoing Aisha's blue dress and Warren's uniform. In Manchester, a unity festival drew thousands. Their games and flags inspired by Aisha. Their cheers, a chorus of honor. Every Voice. In Glasgow, a school launched Aisha Days, teaching respect through play. Their walls covered in drawings of salutes and stars. In Cardiff, a youth club raised 20 Zonte for veterans, their runners wearing blue ribbons. Their chant for Aisha, for Warren echoing through the streets. Internationally, a Delhi school adopted Courage Days, their students saluting like Warren, their teacher writing to the palace. Your girl and colonel teach our kids to honor bravery. A Sydney charity started a respect program, their logo, a flag and salute. Their leaders citing Aisha's spirit. Murals multiplied in Accra, Aisha and Warren under a sun. Courage in Twi. In Sao Paulo, a girl and soldier with Coragem. In Dublin, Misniak with stars. Churches held services on resilience, from small Welsh chapels to grand London cathedrals. Their sermons drawing on Aisha's boldness and Warren's respect. They showed us courage's heart. Let's live it. A Bristol vicar shared, your story teaches us to see bravery, to honor it silently, to unite. Alice and Warren, now bound by Aisha's moment, met at a campaign event, their handshake firm, their respect deep. Warren, typically reserved, clapped Alice's shoulder. You held the line. Sergeant gave me space to honor her. Alice grinned. You made her shine. Sir silenced the noise. Their bond, forged in silence, inspired guards and soldiers. Their story, a training case. Honor the heart, not just the rule. Marva visited Alice. Her care packages, a ritual socks. Patties, Anoti, my David. You and Aisha freed us all. Alice volunteered at Aisha's school, teaching kids about courage through stories. His tales of her parade laced with warmth. Aisha's flag was the biggest, and her heart the bravest. The kids' drawings multiplied, their flags and salutes a vibrant gallery. Their joy, a testament to her impact. Layla invited Alice and Warren to dinner, the table laden with jollof rice and laughter. Aisha's hug fierce as she showed them her latest drawing, a parade with stars. Courage forever in glitter. Warren, his reserve softening, ruffled her hair. You're our captain. Aisha, Malik clasped their hands. Your family now. The palace updated protocols, allowing limited guard engagement in ceremonial disruptions. A nod to Aisha's moment. Dubbed Warren's rule in memos, X celebrated. Guards are human now. Aisha and Warren changed the game. Ellie stood at his post in the quiet of another morning. The palace aglow under a dawn sky. Aisha's drawing creased in his pocket. Her note a steady pulse. You saw my heart. Tourists passed, their smiles warmer, their children waving flags, their parents whispering the story. That's the guard from Aisha's parade. A girl, about Aisha's age, approached. Her flag small. Did you see the brave girl, Ellis, bound by protocol? Couldn't speak. But his hazel eyes crinkled, his nod slight but warm. Her mother smiled. Thank you for that day. Warren, now a campaign ambassador, spoke at schools, his quiet presence a draw. His message simple, Aisha's courage, our respect. That's freedom's heart. The campaign reported lives changed children braver to stand up, communities stronger in unity, veterans inspired to share stories, all traced to a girl's flag and a colonel's salute. For you, who've honored a moment of courage, perhaps with a nod to a child's heart, a gesture that silenced scorn, or a time when respect reshaped a day. Aisha and Warren's story is a call to share freedom's spirit, to let it live in your actions, to honor courage with love and respect. Share your story. Have you celebrated bravery, united through respect, honored a child's heart? Subscribe for more tales of resilience and heart. And join us in raising awareness, stand with respect, live with courage, love with unity. Click the bell. Share this with someone who cherishes freedom's triumph. And let's honor the courage that dances, the respect that salutes, the unity that shines. In a guard, a girl, and a colonel who made courage eternal.